Hey YouTube! Today I want to show you the result of my sculpting experiment with this 3D pen, and I wanted to see how well I can sculpture with it. I had some experiences, but not too many, and I didn't do any human beings yet, so I decided to go for a middle way, which is the Reaper from Overwatch. Because when I started the project, I was playing Overwatch quite a bit, and mainly Reaper, and I liked the character. So I took this 3D pen, had a little bit of help with this guy here to smooth all the surfaces out, because when you just draw the lines with the 3D pen, it's just going to be too rough on the surface, and you cannot be that accurate. Before I show you how the final result looked like, this is it, but I don't want to reveal it yet, because I want to show you the whole process of doing it. Not the whole process, it took like, I don't know, 20 hours, 10 at least. This is what the Reaper is, and what he looks like. I'm assuming it's a he, I don't know. He's carrying 2 shotguns, and it looks pretty cool, right? Some sort of dark character, he can like port away and stuff. So let's go for a 3D modeling approach. Here we go, enjoy. So, I prepared myself, printed out some pictures, grabbed my 3D pen, some tin foil, a little bit of wires, and soldering iron, of course. I started with creating the basic position from wire in order to wrap the tin foil around to have a base where I can later put the PLA filament on. Took me a while to get it right. Even made the torso a little bit too long, and then had to cut it down later and do it again. But in the end, that's how it turned out. And then I started with painting on it. Started with the shoes, went all around, tried to get a feeling for it, wanted to see how it looks. And as you can see, it looks pretty rough at the beginning. But I kept going, went for the black parts, and tried to fill out the whole body. But from time to time, the freaking pen goes crazy. It wouldn't pull in the plastic, and then the wires, and that made me really mad a couple of times. Just like that. But I kept going and going and painting around. Then I went out of black color. That's why there's this part left on the back, which I then filled with blue while I ordered a larger spool of filament. And since I was unable to keep on painting with the black anyways, I decided to check how the smoothing works with the soldering iron, and it worked out surprisingly well in comparison to the flat smoothing with this spoonish kind of tool. That was way better, because you had a way better feeling for details. And there it was, the bigger one. So I kept going, filling up stuff, trying to get the shoulders bigger, the back bigger, trying to get the overall shape, the Reaper, according to the pictures I had there. Then I went for the hood, which I made out of tin foil, and then wrapped all the stuff around there. Pretty tricky at the beginning, but once you get the wireframe, it's rather easy, and then you can smooth everything out. That fits. Stick it together. And start ironing more. And more. And more. The hoodie, it took me quite a while. That was my face prototype, to see if it fits in. And it did, so I started painting it. It took me quite a while because it was rather tiny, and with this soldering iron I couldn't get all the details properly, but in the end it turned out pretty well. And there it goes. And then more material to the back. And then I tried to rather carve the structures, bring in some other colors, a little bit of gold for the belt and for the back and everything, to get a bit more detail. And then I went for the basic cape structure. And then the guns. I started with drawing them onto a piece of cardboard to get the size right and to have a decent base to wrap the material around, so I don't have to start from the scratch. That's how it looks like. Two of them. See this wrapping around that felt pretty comfortable, and you get a lot of mass around pretty quickly in order to get this 3D shape out of the 2D cardboard. It looks pretty fast in the fast forward here, but those two guns, they took forever. And this was just the rough structure. No smoothing yet, nothing. So that was the first one, which was pretty cool. The kids had fun with it, they were playing around, and the second one was quite similar. And then I started smoothing out the guns, which was okay. Could bring in a little bit more detail, bring in the holes, and give them the final structure, basically. And that's it. Shiny new, tiny little shotgun for our Reaper. Now for the cape. The cape was rather tricky. I tried a couple of models with tinfoil till I was more or less happy. I'm still not exactly happy with the final result, because once you get this wireframe around and you have everything hardened out, it's really hard to make minor corrections. So if I was doing it again, I would try to make it look more organic, but you know, I didn't want to do it twice, so I had to live with what I had, try to correct as good as I could with the soldering iron, and in the end it turned out okay. Fine-tuning here and there, and then sticking it to the Reaper, melting it on his back. And that was the status so far. This final clothing. Some details were still missing, but that was basically most of the work was done. I tried to bring in some more details to the shoes and a little bit more to the knee to get slightly more organic structures. And then I attached the guns to the hands before I started with creating the fingers and hands itself. Lot of detail work. Weapons attached. Time for a break. Then I started working on the shoes a bit more to give him a more solid stand so he wouldn't fall. And that's it. Then the last part was basically just more bullets. One bullet clip was missing on the belt. It was the part I most enjoyed. It's this tiny little red balls, connecting them with black and then finishing the shells and attaching it. And then some more detailed stuff with the hands, the fingers, the claws. That was rather tricky to get them around the guns and everything. Strategy was right to create the guns first and then attach them. But in the end it worked out, so. And last but not least, we had 4 spikes in total. 2 larger ones and 2 rather smaller ones on the other hand that had to be attached. And they look pretty dope. So here he is. That's the final result, and I think it turned out pretty nicely. There's a little bit of optimization possible here and there with the feet and the legs and everything, but overall I'm pretty happy with it. The bullets I've been working on and those little spikes and everything. Oh, I like the face. It's also pretty cool. Hands were a bit tricky because like the smaller details are always quite tough to do, since this stuff hardens so quickly. But in the end, I'm pretty happy with the result. Let me know in the comments what you think about it, and please make sure to subscribe. See you next time.